this movie is really a pretty classic underdog story. At the time, in the Le Mans 24-hour race, it was dominated by Ferrari, and it seemed every year he would go and every year he would win, and he was just the master builder and designer of these beautiful cars that were famous around the world for being kind of the epitome of perfection. They were both old. They were both in their 40s. Like, Miles was at the end of his run, really, and this was his last chance. And so the movie really follows that dynamic, that relationship, and all those dynamics within it, as these two guys who are very different but have a deep and abiding respect for each other attempt to do the impossible. What I loved about it when I first read it was that it's incredibly relatable, because this relationship is the centerpiece of the movie. But you really feel what this means to both of them individually. You go back to the home with Ken Miles, and you see his relationship with his wife and his son. You see what's at stake and the crossroads he's at, the financial trouble he's in, and you get that with Shelby as well. You know, this is an inflection point in both of their lives. They need each other in order to have the outcome that they both need to have happen. But they fight like brothers, you know, which is, they drive each other pretty, crazy, which is a lot of fun. It's like a classic buddy movie. Working with Jim was I mean, that was really, I've said for years I take movies based on who's directing them. That's really the first thing that I look at, and that's my first that's the first kind of question I ask when something comes my way. And then there's the screenplay and the role, and obviously who else is in it. But when I heard it was Jim, and then potentially Christian, like we kind of came into it at around the same time. But it was I've been following Christian for a really long time, just as a fan of his work, and Jim as well. Jim I've known for 20 years, and we'd never found something to do together, and so it was a very easy choice for me to sign on to this one. Certainly, anytime you make a movie about a particular subset of human beings, right, and in this case it's car lovers, presumably you'll have those people, like we have them at Hello, because this is a movie where you're going to be able to recreate that time and that life and these cars that people really love. For me, as somebody who, I'm not I grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, like taking the subway, so I didn't grow up in a car culture. The fact that I loved the movie, when I read it, that's what got me excited about it, because hopefully we can get the people who are into car culture, and then the people who just want to see a great movie, kind of a great underdog story. The story is so relatable, just on from a human standpoint. I think about this friendship, and about these guys who really cared about the same thing, and as a result cared about each other, and despite being very, very different. I think the most fun I had, I got to go to work with Christian every day and watch him and see what he was going to do. It just was, I think that guy is just a miracle of an actor. He's incredible. And to feel like this script is really good, and our director is great, and I'm working with Christian, like, it was just an exciting movie to get up and go make every day.
Hey, it's Lisa here. Did you know that the first picture to sweep all 5 major Academy Awards, winning for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director and Best Screenplay, was Frank Capra's It Happened One Night from 1934. The second movie to do the same was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from 1975. Do you like my t-shirt? You can get one for yourself in the description below.